not just give to our students, not just to our city, but to the full world.
Baba, what did you say your name was?
Zidane.
Zidane from Don Bosco.
Zidane.
Okay, Zidane. Zidane, it's critical to know that while films are a mode of entertainment, they're also very impressionable, and it's critical for filmmakers to always have something to say. Like I said previously, perhaps coated with entertainment, perhaps coated with cinematicness, but eventually you've got to say something. I think the one thing that plagues our society is male privilege. It's very critical that we address it, not only as a society, but also understand it in families, that male entitlement and male privilege is one thing that constantly, as I said, plagues us, but also can really be impressionable to the mind of the young boy and girl in the house, or either. This is one thing that Rocky or Rani ki Prem Kahani addresses, is male privilege, male entitlement, and how it can actually be the fulcrum of disaster in a household. Of course, this sounds loaded, but it's coming through in the most accurate manner ever in this film.
I hope that...
I'd like to end by saying that you all are really a big inspiration to me, and I just hope to work with you on something.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, God bless you. God bless you for that.
Okay. So, but let's go to one final...
I am Nidhi Chavla from Sacred Art School, Kalyan. And my question for you all is, when we think of the cinema as an industry, it is the glitz and the glamour that pops up in our minds. But there is also a downside, a negative aspect to the industry, to the people associated with this industry, be it the box office pressure, or the media, or the trolls. So what advice would you like to give to us students about the setbacks that we may have in our life, in our future?
Number one, what's your name?
Nidhi Chavla.
Nidhi, correct?
Yes, yes.
Nidhi. So something that I learned, and very early on, and it just happened through open dialogue and conversation in my house. Life is hard, yeah. That's basically it. It's not industry, it's not anything. You have ups, you have downs. You just have to keep a grateful heart and take each day as it comes, and not put too much pressure on yourself to ace everything. I think one of the things that Karan said is the most important 3 words that we don't say is I don't know, I messed up, I'm not right, I could be wrong. And if you are right, and if you've not messed up, and you do know, then anybody saying anything doesn't matter, because you know you're right. Vis-a-vis box office, I think that's something that as an industry we will always feel very, very responsible about, because we know that our audience spends their hard-earned money and comes to watch our movie. So it's our responsibility to entertain them. So that pressure we willingly take, because if we don't take that pressure, then we will not be responsible and we will not put our 150% every day. I suddenly lost some kind of ringing started in my ear.
Thank you so much.
Super. Yes, the next. Thank you, Aditi. And
that we are human beings first, and we are also capable of making mistakes. But in the food chain of family, you are always meant to believe that the father, the mother, the elder sibling is always right. Many a time, and I'm sure some of you children, kids and youngsters in the audience will understand that that's not always the truth. We have to know, and so Rocky Aur Rani Ki Prem Kahani scratches the surface of that and says so much more. But otherwise, it's a really funny, entertaining, happy film. And if you draw from it these little tiny gems that may be thrown at you now and then that's great. Otherwise, you can ask yourself the most pivotal question, what chumka?
But you know, I'm glad you mentioned this. That it's also fun, but there are small takeaways as well in this, and therefore I must ask one question to Ranveer and Alia. So, what is that one leadership or life lesson that you learned from playing Rocky, and what you learned from playing Rani that you can pass on to them?
Most certainly, compassion and empathy. Before you write a person off, should always try and give them a chance. Big learning from this character.
Very well said.
What I learned from Rani, I'm trying to think.
The thing with Alia is, I don't think, and you can answer this after I said, I think that she didn't learn as much as she actually gave to the character, because I think Alia in many ways is Rani.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. So Karan, the way Rani is written and the things she stands for, and the values that she has and the perspective that she has, I agree with 99% of the things that she believes and feels. But there's a slight difference between Rani and me. Is एक चीज होती है कि, and this is not with regards to if you have to stand up for yourself, you have to stand up for yourself, and to hell with the world. Sorry, pardon my language, but to hell, because you have to stand up for yourself. But there's a certain level at which this over opinions constantly giving is not required in a situation where if you can make the matter better, then say something. Otherwise, sometimes it's better to just stay quiet and let the situation handle itself out.
Very well said.
So, not like Rani at all is a negative person, but sometimes you may think that I'm just putting my opinion out there, but you're adding a lot of noise. So the value that maybe I learned from playing that character, not like Rani was adding noise, was that there's a certain decorum and a certain gentleness with which you can also put your opinion out there and try and make things better, as opposed to just think of where you're coming from.
And actually, in a way, I have to say that that's what Alia brought to the character, and it's entirely, I give her full credit for it. On paper, Rani was heavily opinionated and at parts could have been, if I may say so, not likable, because she was so strong in her opinion. Rani was given sensitivity and understanding by Alia's sheer genius. She understood that she had to do it in a way where she was completely likable. Because Rocky was written as likable, right? And she is a totally different character, but she brought the likability to her character and made it, in a sense, worthy of emulation.
And in today's day and age, one of the they just love what all of you say, but one of the things that Alia, you said so beautifully, is the fact that in today's day and age, it's always about giving an opinion even if you don't have an opinion. Because in today's age of social media, and sometimes that can become toxic, everybody has an opinion about everything. And I think it's so important to perhaps take away from that answer that it's okay not to have an opinion, and it's okay not to have an opinion on a particular subject area and say no comments.
No, the thing is, if you're helping the situation,
Correct.
if you're standing up for something, if you're believing in something, if you need to make your ground heard, go for it. But if you're just adding to noise and just giving an opinion just for the heck of it, and not knowing the head or the tail or the middle or the back or the center, why? Why do it? Just read a book.
Read a book.
You know?
But I've always believed a conversation with knowledgeable people is better than reading 100 books. So we've got 3 people, so we've got 300 books in front of us. But before it becomes too serious, we've got the 3 of you together. So, I can't do what he does. Nobody can. But if this were Coffee with Karan, who amongst Rocky and Rani would essentially come out on the top?
Rocky.
No, I disagree. I think rapid fire, Rani would win.
No.
The games, Rani would win.
Rocky would win because he's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, Rocky.
Maybe
would
like
be.
the general knowledge part of it, Rani would win.
Yeah.
Rani, I'm not saying Alia.
Yeah. No, she'd win rapid fire. She'd win the games. I think Rani would win over.
Is this your lead into a game?
Into a game. Yes, thank you. So, how about we
I
find
think
out?
the
we find
reason
out.
is Rocky would be very distracted. Not really focusing
I'm
on
sorry,
the game.
I'm sorry, but I am drop dead gorgeous. You can't help it.
Well, how about we find out? We find out who wins coffee with Karan out here. How about we do that? Yeah? Okay.
All too young to probably understand that, but you will enjoy all the fun aspects of the film. But anyone who understands that we as Indians and Asians believe very strongly in the power of family. And we believe that family, when in bad times, in good times, you need the power of family to kind of empower you. And some of us are blessed to have stable, supportive families, and some of us don't have that luxury. Many of you here are young, impressionable minds. Many of you will draw today from the strength you derive from your family, and unfortunately there are many who also don't have the pleasure of that strength. We actually in Rocky or Rani Ki Prem Kahani just talk about how powerful it can be for parents to also understand that, we always put an emphasis on how correct parents are and how wrong, the children can be. But there is a thought in Rocky or Rani Ki Prem Kahani beyond its love story and its ideological clash. It's also about that if you're a parent, at times you can be wrong too. And you can be actually the gray area in your child's life. So it's very critical for parents to understand, just because aap bade hain, aap buzurg hai,